Welcome, brothers and sisters. So, this is my third time trying to make this video. Might be the fourth by the time I get it out, but man, the y'all see the title, man. It's just gonna be hard. I'm warning you now, man. It's gonna be hard for some of you men to withstand what's about to be said in this video, but we got to deal with it. This is my opinion, so hopefully you will get something out of it, give you a different perspective, a different way of seeing the reality that we're facing. I do believe that these high value male arguments are irrelevant. They're highly irrelevant. What is the purpose? They represent a psychological operation, a derailment actually of the conversation. And most black men, they just don't get it. They just don't understand that the black race is dead. It's gone. It's complete, and it is finished. I'm sorry that I had to break the news to you. But a lot of y'all are living in a fantasy world by which you will never wake up. If you go to the average dating site and you look up BAWs from the age of 20 to 27, you're gonna see something interesting. You're gonna see bisexual. Man, I don't know about you, men, but are you? I'm not trying to marry no bisexual female, and most black men are not gonna buy into that because that's just a lot more drama to bring into your life, especially if you're a quote unquote high value man. Why would you bring something like that into your life? The black race is done. It's through, it's complete, and it's finished. I know a lot of men would like to hold on to the hopes that black people will get their shit together, but it's just not going to happen. There will only be a remnant. But the rest is through. The rest you cannot help, you cannot do anything with. Black Lives Matter already, has raised $10 billion. What do you think they're going to do? What kind of agenda do you think they're going to push with this $10 billion they just received? Is it going to be anything that has to do to help your community? No. It's going to actually, all that money is going to be used to destroy said community. With all of that homosexualness. The thing I don't like about these people is that the conversation will be about some black man's murder. But if you look at anything they write, any articles they put out, any marches, anything they doing, the conversations will start off about some black male's death or some black female's death, and then it'll magically turn into some type of homosexual argument. Some way to interject some intersectional bullshit into the conversation. I thought we was talking about black male deaths, black female deaths, black people dying at the hands of racist cops. or at the hands of police, period. And then it somehow derails into some type of homosexual argument. And this organization has raised $10 billion. And do you honestly believe that that's going to go towards helping the black community? To improving the black community? Yeah, they're going to have a program here, program there. That's just a front. But that agenda is going to keep being pushed throughout your community. That's what the money is there for. You notice how anytime they donate to an organization, it's always an organization that's not actually run by black people. Like Black Lives Matter is not run by those black women that you see. The money for those organizations actually direct what those organizations do. But as I stated, the break done. The whole high value male argument is irrelevant. It doesn't matter how many. I mean, you look at the attack on masculinity. How masculinity is being attacked in the black community to where it's not about the men, it's about the boys. They're attacking masculinity, but they're pointing it at the boys. See, because the boys are not old enough to, a lot of these male children are not old enough to make an informed decision. And it causes a lot of confusion. You know, and it's like you're attacking things that make them men. So now these boys are growing up confused. They don't know how to dress. They don't know how to act. They're not in leadership positions. They don't see many men in their communities in leadership positions. And the whole attack on masculinity is only going to lead to more sexual confusion. It's not about the men, it's about the boys. It's not about the men. See, the men have already made their minds up about who they are and what they're going to do and where they stand. The child hasn't made up his mind yet. And if they can convince the child that there's something wrong with being masculine, that you being masculine will not be tolerated, your masculinity will not be tolerated, then that's going to cause a lot of these black males to either buck or fold. They're going to buck or they're going to fold. Now, as I stated, it doesn't matter how many children the black woman produces. You know, the more successful she becomes, the less likely it is that her children, her male children, you know, the ones who can produce children, who can make black babies, the less likely it is that those boys are going to choose them. First of all, their masculinity is being attacked. So, I mean, what are you gonna do? When you attack a man's masculinity, he's gonna do one of two things. He's gonna buck or he's gonna fold. And most of these black men are gonna buck. Most of these black male children are gonna buck because they're looking at all these other races of men around them, and they know that they can't go out into the world and be some type of soft ass, emotionally whipped individuals. So like I said, it doesn't matter how many children the black woman produces. You know, it doesn't matter how many children she produces. 9 times out of 10, those male children are not going to choose them. They're not going to choose women that have systematically tried to destroy their very manhood. While you have other women that are trying to embrace a black man's masculinity. So who is he going to choose? He going to choose the women who's trying to beat the manhood? I mean, for the last 50 years, black women have been trying to beat the manhood out of black men using this system. You ain't no real man. I don't need no man. I'm strong, independent, blah, 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 blah. You think that black men don't remember this stuff happening? You don't think black men are going to remember you trying to subject them to another man's authority? You don't think that they're gonna remember that? You don't think your sons are sitting around and watching this shit go down? But in the meantime, the dumbass black male is out here talking about high value males. The black race is done. High value man. This shit is insane. You know? Man, I mean, good luck with that shit. I mean, but, you know, the scriptures already talks about these things. And the black man would just never get it. They never get it. But it's happening right before your eyes. The prophecies are coming to fruition in the Most High's own way. This race is done. It's through. It's complete and it is finished. Except for a remnant. You know, the 2/3 Negro, I mean, in 20 years, you are not going to see the black people. The black people that you see now are not going to be the black people that you're going to see then. They're going to be beige and orange and blue and green and some kind of other mixed up some type of other mixed up situation, man. I mean, I don't understand what the black man is arguing about. What is he talking about? He's a high value man. And instead of focusing on the things he should be focusing on, you know, black men have been distracted into another, pulled into another useless ass argument, derailed. I mean, you men have been COINTELPRO'd so quickly. It's just not funny, man. Did you just see what happened? Did you just see what action? I mean, black men were talking about a certain issue, talking about real issues. Then all of a sudden, you know, now they're talking about high value man and what a man wants in a woman, and all of these irrelevant ass topics that are relevant to an actual high value man. I mean, they're irrelevant. I mean, I made videos a long time ago telling you that the black woman's opinion is not relevant. And any man who is even worried about her opinion or acknowledging her opinion, I mean, you should be worried about what the Most High told you to do. See, because that is the order. That is the order and the structure of life, of the heavens and the earth, and on the earth. Now, you know, it's the Most High, the elders, and then it's the people, and then it's the flock. But and I mean, as far as that goes, it's the man, and then the woman, and then the children. Order. But, you know, black people are out of order, out of line. They think they got all the time in the world to sit around and bullshit. I hope you men are actually saving your resources, man, and not getting into relationships. Don't be a loser, man. Do not be a loser, because trust me, I'm gonna break down all of that stuff that happened a long time ago and bring it all way back to the present, so that black men could get a clear picture. See, black men don't have, I mean, a lot of black men don't have a sense of history. They don't have a true sense of history of the things that happened in this country that led them to where they are today. They truly don't have a clear sense of history, because it's not the history that they've been teaching you in these schools. You know, they teach you what they want to teach you in these schools. They're not going to teach you what they've actually done. You got to go get that info for yourself. But, you know, 40 years ago, you know, the out of wedlock birth rate was about what was it? About 45 to 50%. Roughly. 45 to 50%. I've got to go look these numbers up again, but those are around relevant numbers. And definitely 30 years ago that was the case. But 40 years ago, the black race, the out of wedlock birth rate in the black community was 45%. In 2020, the out of wedlock birth rate in the black community is around, some people have stated that it was 82% or 82 to 84%. And we seem to think that if by us going in this same direction that we've been going in, it's somehow going to get better. Man, the black race is done. The black race is through. It's complete. It is finished. There's nothing we can do about it. A remnant will be saved out of it, but the rest of them will be destroyed. 2/3 of those Negroes will be destroyed. Right now, you got a choice to make. You got a choice of where you going to be in this equation. Because like I said, in 20 years, 20 to 30 years, the black community, this next generation that's about to come up, oh Lord. Oh man. Black people are not producing shit for them. You know, I told you, the more successful the black woman becomes with her education and her strong, independent nonsense, the less likely it is that her sons are going to choose children that look like, choose wives that look like her. You know, you see what they've done to masculinity. When you put all of these pieces together, you already know, and you see the trajectory that the black community is still going in. 20 years ago, it was the year 2000. That means a total, another generation in the year 2000, another generation came up, and that means that those individuals are now 20 years old, roughly 20 years old. You know, they're coming up, and they are not choosing. And when it's time for them to choose, the BAW's opinion as far as the high value man, black men's opinions regarding high value men are irrelevant, because these men are not really doing anything. I don't understand why they call themselves high value men. You know, that's a hard one to swallow for me. That's because I always talk about black men having higher standards for themselves. Having higher standards. You know, it can't be like $100,000 a year. That's just, if that's what you call a high value man, then I guess if you're just using it as an arbitrary talking point for your arguments, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I really do believe that these conversations are irrelevant. You know, they are a distraction. They're not exactly what black men should be talking about in 2020. In 2025, there will be another election, and black men are going to be in the same, the vast majority of black men are going to be in the same position they're in right now. which is what they should be talking about. But they're not concerned with that. They're concerned with getting a bunch of money so they can impress a bunch of women, and then be able to dictate, who I'm gonna get with, and I don't want you because you fat and you overweight. I mean, that is another talking point that I could have went into. The fact that a lot of these women are overweight and they find nothing wrong with it. They find nothing wrong with the fact that they're overweight. And they think that is not going to detrimentally affect men choosing them. And the fact that they're so dumb. I mean, this is the most educated group of people in the United States, and they just don't get it. If you're going on a job interview, like when you go on an interview, when you're attempting to be a wife to a man, that's like going on a job interview. But when black women go on these wife interviews with black men, they're throwing up their degrees. You can't bring your degree to a wife interview. Your degree is, you can bring it, but it's very, it's not even relevant in 90% of cases. Can you cook? Can you clean? That's important. Cooking and cleaning is important. Why? Because if you're going to have children, you're going to have to teach your children how to cook and clean. But the black woman thinks that, if she got a high value man, she'll be able to hire a maid, and she won't have to clean her own house. God, but what are you teaching your children, man? You want your children to know the value of hard work. You want your children to be self-sufficient, especially your daughters. You want your daughters to be able to attract a man of her race, hopefully, unless you're gonna be looking like a bunch of beige individuals. But no pun intended, but it is what it is, man. And but if you're interviewing to be a wife, you have to have the right qualifications, and your degree in psychology is not gonna get it. I got a degree in childhood psychology. Irrelevant. I don't want you using your psychology degree on my damn children. Are you gonna teach my daughters how to cook, how to clean, so they can be how to raise children properly? Are you gonna teach my children that? Because if all you're gonna teach them, if she's talking about her degrees, what do you think she's gonna teach your children? She's gonna teach your children that all you gotta have is a degree and everything gonna be alright. All you gotta do is have a degree. Don't worry about all that cooking and cleaning. You gonna be making so much money that you could just hire a maid to cook and clean for you. That's not what black men want. It's not what the average black man wants. They want a woman. They want to come home to a woman who's beautiful, in shape, knows how to cook, knows how to clean, knows how to shut the hell up, be quiet. Just simple things. Just simple ass shit. But what she's gonna throw up is her degree. Hire me because I got a degree. Save that for your employer, man. Don't come at your potential husband with your damn degree. Man, I don't know. But the black race is done. They just don't get it. Anyway, on that note, I want to say peace. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you think. Get on the the 5 steps and adopt a moral code.